Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 230. And today we're going to talk about how to really think about blending soul and strategy, how you can achieve and succeed without losing yourself in the process. And I want to speak directly to the part of you that's tired of pushing, the part of you that is craving space, that is craving meaning and peace, because this is not just about what you're building. This is about how you feel while you are building it. And when we begin to architect this next version of our lives, there's one question that opens the portal. And this question is, what do I want to create? And I asked myself this question when I built my soul-driven business. Yes, there was strategy, but the fuel was a vision. And it was a vision of a circle. I remember drawing this out of people coming together through technology and in person, a movement called Spiritual Achiever. And it started with one person, which was me. And the thing that made me different was my lived experience. And that became my expertise, the strategy plus the soul, the spiritual energy, and the high performance. And you can build your unique life too. There's no version of this creation that is too small or too big. And I remember the burnout, the exhaustion, the overdrive. And the funny thing is, I thought, hey, I left McKinsey and that's where I would leave the exhaustion behind. And that wasn't true. One of the hardest things to admit was that I was afraid of not just the organizations around me, but I was afraid of myself, my optimism, my ambition, my own resilience. The very things that made me great were also the things that nearly broke me. And everything that helps us can also hurt us. The self that is strongest is also the self that's hiding, that's scared, that's overwhelmed, that's controlling. So I had to ask, how do I create from energy, not depletion? And that question led me to this answer, which is flow states. I became really interested in understanding energy management, flow states. And when I started surfing in 2022, I had no idea it would become a metaphor for everything. Catching a wave. It's not about force. It's about rhythm. It's about presence. It's about letting go and getting out of our heads. In flow, we lose track of time. We stop overthinking. We become absorbed. We become so present. And a McKinsey study even found that we're 5 times more productive in flow. So what does flow actually look like? There are 4 stages of flow. The first is struggle. This is where we have resistance, distraction, tension. Then we hit release. That's the letting go. That is finding rhythm. Then we enter flow, which is this full immersion, highly focused state. And then there's recovery, which is the integration, the rest. And high achievers often skip recovery, and we wonder why the burnout keeps coming. So what helped me shift from burnout to a more steady state of brilliance, of feeling energized, was this tool that I now use with my clients. And it is called the Inner State Map. And it's how we track our body signals, our emotional patterns, our productivity rhythms. And when you use it, you begin to see yourself clearly. You recognize when you're stuck in struggle. You notice when you're in flow. And most importantly, you stop skipping recovery. And this isn't just productivity, it is presence. I remember asking myself, what does presence really feel like? And I remember understanding when I started going into deeper spiritual practices what that looked like. In meditation, I started understanding what presence looked like. And then I was able to take it out of meditation and into my life. If we think about our number one goal, oftentimes it's a sense of inner peace, contentment. Yes, we think about the dream job. We think about the legacy, the amazing feeling that we have when our bodies feel good and our relationships are sound. And the reason often that we do want that is because of the freedom we feel when we're able to be present with ourselves, with our relationships, with our bodies, with our minds, in the work we're doing, in the problems that we're facing. So this sacred practice of understanding how your mind and body really work starts here. It starts with awareness. It starts with tools that help you allow yourself to come back to where you are right now instead of spinning in the story. So you can stop forcing life and start flowing with life. And if this is speaking to you and you're curious about how to work with your energy and not against it, this is exactly the kind of work we do inside my coaching practice. And you can use the link in the show notes to apply for a private consult, www.mamson.com/contact. Or you can find me on Instagram and send me a message and let me know. You can even DM me the word flow and we can connect there. And so if you're listening right now, I see you. I see that longing for peace, that craving for a deep sense of purpose and the fear of wasting your gifts and this time that we have on this planet. And I've been there, and I want you to know that it is not too late. Your body is very wise. Your vision that you're holding right now is sacred, and the future that you have in front of you is still yours to create. So here's what I want you to do. Choose one micro recovery ritual today, a breath, a walk, a pause, something that may take 1 minute, maybe 5 minutes, that you can interject throughout your day so that you can transition out of your current work into struggle again, and then into flow state, and then integrate that learning. And then choose one macro ritual that you can do this week. Maybe it's sleep, deep sleep, restful sleep, getting enough hours of sleep, consistent sleep. Maybe it's going to the sauna. Maybe it is yoga. Maybe it is silence. And see what it does for you. Notice how you feel. Notice how energized you feel to start the next thing. Notice how ready you feel. I know that last week I was attending this big conference and it was pretty draining, even though it was energizing, because I was teaching yoga, I was teaching meditation early mornings, I also had presentation skills, trainings that were part of the agenda that I was helping to facilitate, and putting on a trade fair, right? All these kind of very active things, talking, selling, we're always selling to people, and just being around so many people in all these kinds of ways. And I could feel that sense of headiness, that sense of energy of the group around me, and having to take moments where I would come back and do some of these micro rituals. And then when I came back from that week, I was entering in a full on weekend that included a immediate flight home that arrived just in time to quickly eat dinner and attend my daughter's first performance, attend her second performance the next day, and then run a color run 5K in the morning, host a brunch for my mom and my brother and his wife that were coming to go watch the show, and then attend the show, and then go to dinner with my family afterwards, and then come home. And then we start on Monday again. So I understand also what it feels like to have the feeling that there's not a ton of time to take these breaks. But I will tell you what I did do was work on one or two things at a time. I focused on my sleep. I was like, okay, I'm going to come home and I'm going to sleep really well and focus on getting to bed on time and giving myself enough hours of sleep. I wasn't able to do sauna, but I did do some yoga and I did meditate. And I did find moments to just take a breath through the longer days and the in-betweens, and just also resetting my mind to say, wow, I'm incredibly grateful that I can attend and make all of these things, that I have this very full life with family and friendships and a dream job that's a corporate job that I love, and the ability to get to see all these people that are so amazing and I love connecting with, and all these opportunities to do so many cool things, and a soul-driven business that I have on my own, coaching all of these incredible people who are mission-driven and so into high performance as well. And so there's just this reframe and this set of gratitude also that accompanies it. And you can still need rest. I'm doing all this blood work now because I'm doing my functional panels, and they've noticed that my cortisol is high. And one of the things that the people, the functional medicine team that I'm working with, were saying was, hey, you're probably like a very high functioning person, even if you have cortisol that's high, like you're pretty asymptomatic. And I do these practices that I'm talking about with you, and I can also still go deeper. So I am adding things like acupuncture to the mix. I am going deeper into my own roots of Chinese medicine because that's how I was brought up. I am leaning out of some more intense practices like CrossFit right now, still working on strength, but just really attuning to monitoring my nervous system, doing a lot of work in a somatic certification as well, so more to come there. So it all happens to be very well timed for me being able to practice the things that I'm telling you about now and how it has worked for me. So there has been so many periods in my life where I had to really lean into these practices and then go deeper again, then go deeper again. So I promise you that we're only scratching the surface here. And this is one of the reasons why this is such a fun tool and practice. And the work that we do in Spiritual Achiever Coaching is so deep and transformational, which is why it covers all aspects of your life and gives you that incredible transformation that you have been longing for. So if this is something that really resonates with you, again, feel free to connect with me on Instagram, apply for a free consult, And we have a training that I think that you will enjoy. If you haven't listened to it yet, it really sinks into these principles about how many hours to work, the mindset behind a spiritual achiever versus an overachiever, and how to really think about integrating some of these practices into your life and how it helps you build your legacy and building it that soul first, high performance way. And that training is in the show notes. So you can go to mayemson.com/230 to get the stand out and lead training. And it will show you how we use these spiritual and high performance strategies and why that it allows us to achieve much more of that time and financial freedom. I would not have been able to build a business, go through all of these certifications, lead retreats, and do work at a high level in the corporate world without these practices and the coaching that I share with you. So go there, watch that free training, and if you want to live a life that really feels as good as it looks, you can apply now at mayemson.com/contact. And it is risk-free. You can try out the first 30 days and see how it goes for you to really get that experience. And I cannot wait to see you on the inside. So have an amazing week, my friends. Find that recovery practice, that flow state, that release, and honor the struggle. It really is our life, and I cannot wait for you to really live into it and enjoy the ride. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.